The world's large glaciers are disappearing at an excessive speed. For example, in the Glacier de Montana National Park, due to climate change, the glaciers risk melting already by 2030. Since 1950, out of 100% of the large glaciers that were there, only 25% remained. But the medal has two sides, and the good one is that more and more amazing discoveries are being found that were hidden under the ice, and with each discovery humanity learns more and more about the secrets of the past and the future. Here are the discoveries that have been made thanks to global warming and the melting of glaciers. Recently, archaeologists have found something amazing, a giant virus that is 30,000 years old. Scientists say that the virus does not pose a danger to humanity, but it is a danger to amoeba. Similarly, archaeologists say that many species of viruses and microbes are under the ice and with melting could cause more problems for humanity. In the year 999, on the border between Argentina and Chile, in the glaciers of a volcano at an altitude of 6,706 meters, they found the body of an adolescent girl from the Inca tribe. She looks like she died a few weeks ago, but the archaeologists found that the girl is approximately 13-15 years old. She was hit in the head with an object 500 years ago, becoming the victim of a religious ritual. Due to the low temperature, the body and hair were perfectly preserved. Also, the clothes and objects found with the girl were in very good condition. Next to her were various precious objects from Mayor and Argent, plates where food was placed, and a crown with the feather of some unknown bird. But the archaeologists discovered two more bodies, a boy and a girl of 67 years old, who were also victims of the religious rituals of the Inca tribe. They were well fed with quality products, after which they were also sacrificed. The Inca tribe chose thousands of beautiful children for sacrifice. In 2010, a frozen mother was discovered, who was named Luga. Its weight was about 1,000 kg. It spent 39,000 years in the glacier. The mother is so well preserved that you can see the scales and muscle tissue. For the first time in history, a person was allowed to take blood from a prehistoric animal. But archaeologists assume that most likely the mother got stuck in the glacier and died there, and the lower part of her body remained untouched due to the surrounding glacier. This find is of great scientific value. Scientists in South Korea have announced that thanks to the possible DNA obtained from Luga's body, they now have the chance to clone the mother, thus reviving the entire species. In 1991, in the Alps near the border of Austria and Italy, two German climbers came across the body of a man. The body found was cold OJ. At first, the men thought that it was found by a climber who had disappeared in the mountains. But after the body was transported to the laboratory, it was found that it was the body of a man who lived at the end of the Copper Age, about 5,300 years ago. The body was found at 3,210 m altitudes in a glacier from Alta. Thanks to the glacier in which it was located all these years, it was very well preserved and is almost complete. The man reached the age of about 46 years. It was identified that he died in a battle because he was pierced by enemy arrows. After the expertise of the Den, it was found that he has at least 19 descendants who live today. Once a French alpinist during his ascent of Mont Blanc accidentally found a treasure. It was a metal box. In the box there were punches placed in rows with the inscription "Made in India." In each bag there were 100 precious stones, emeralds of rubies, sapphires. This box of jewelry was estimated at $37,000. Instead of disappearing for all of this trouble, the skilled alpinists took the jewelry to the police, where later the precious petals were transferred to the administration of Chamonix in France, where local authorities had been trying for a long time to discover the secret of making these jewelry white. The clues hidden in the inscription "Made in India," a mysterious coincidence of circumstances in this area, caused two crashes of Indian aircraft. One of the accidents occurred in 1950. The Boeing 707, flying to New York via Geneva and London, incorrectly calculated the altitude of the flight and crashed, hitting the top of the Mont Blanc mountain. All 117 passengers and crew of the aircraft died as a result of the accident. A depression was formed in the mountain in which there are pieces of the plane and other things belonging to the passengers. Experts suggest that the treasures can be associated with the well-known jewelry entrepreneur who is in London. The clothes of the past. This is what the tunic looks like. In 2011, it was found in the mountains of Norway at an altitude of 2,000 m above sea level, which allowed historians to understand what clothes from the Peruvian era looked like. After 2 years of research, they concluded that the tunic was made between 230 and 390 BC, that is, more than 1,500 years ago. It is possible that the tunic was worn by a wrestler with a height of 1.75 m. Scientists say that due to global warming, the mysterious mountain will also surface. In fragments, the changing nature of glaciers can be observed in the following case. In 1950, a plane with passengers on board crashed in Alaska, hitting the coast of Mount Gannet and then broke into pieces. The rescue team found the remains of the plane on top of the Colonia Glacier. A few days later, the fragments of the passenger plane disappeared under a thick layer of snow where they froze in a glacier. Due to adverse weather conditions, the search operation had to be stopped. In June 2012, a helicopter crew noticed pieces of the plane floating in the glacier. The search was renewed, in which they found pieces of the plane, some fragments of the passengers. Due to the glaciers receding too quickly, the operation was postponed again. In the summer of 2013, scientists found that since 1950, the remains of the plane had moved 20-25 km from the crash site, and some fragments due to the movement of the glacier were found at the bottom of Lake George. The remains of soldiers from the World War. During the melting of glaciers near the Italian city of Monza, residents find the remains of war fighters and other objects that they used during the war. In the so-called Second War between the soldiers of the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the Italian troops, hundreds of thousands of soldiers died in this battle. Many of them died because of low temperatures that were below 22 degrees Celsius. There were avalanches of snow in the ice, battalions of 30 soldiers. Many who fought in these places simply disappeared without a trace. And now, after almost 100 years, 80 mummified corpses have surfaced due to the melting of glaciers. In 2004, a mountain guide noticed the corpses of 3 Austro-Hungarian soldiers killed in 1918 hanging from the ice with their feet up. Just as the bodies were kept under the glaciers for a long time, the skin and skin tissues were preserved quite well, so were the houses, personal belongings, and a letter addressed to some Ladies Maria. Holt Grove Forest in the Mendenhall Glacier, Alaska, the forest for 100 years and has its secrets. During the melting of the glaciers, roots, branches, and trees from the past of about 1,000-2,000 years began to emerge. If the melting continues at the same speed, researchers say that we will see an exceptional forest of the past. Throat-bearing rhinoceros calf. Researchers have discovered a rhinoceros calf that has been in the tracks for 2 million years. This is the only specimen in the world. The skull and soft tissues of the rhinoceros were preserved quite well. Scientists say that it is a unique discovery, which will allow researchers to study the morphology and ontogenesis of these species. That was all. It was an interesting thing. Thank you for your attention. If you liked it, subscribe to the channel and share this video to let others know what secrets lie under the glaciers.